Hello everyone, welcome in. My name's Poke for Life, and today we are going to be having fun in the hard mode version of Veteran Halls of Fabrication. Now before we get to the actual content, I have started streaming over on Twitch. Make sure to come check me out at PokeForLifeX. I will link it in the description below so that you can come over and say hello. I will be making another guide on this later, so I'm not going to go super in depth for everything. However, I will go through and explain a little bit of the mechanics with the bosses, that way you can have a good idea as to what's going on. Now, without any further ado, let's get this going. So this first boss is one where you have something similar with Veteran Asylum Sanctorum, where you have to have an interrupter. In this case, I'm the interrupter. My job is going to be going and interrupting the dwarven spheres that pop up around the circle. General idea of looking at this is the part where we came in is 6 o'clock, the opposite side is 12 o'clock, so we're looking at it like a clock. And my job is going to be to interrupt the refabricated spears. Now you can see the charged lightning in between the two bosses. Those are used to break the shield of the spheres. And essentially all it is the tanks going around, taking the boss over and breaking those shields, letting the DPS kill the shields, and then going through and burning the boss. A couple of items of note. Every once in a while there will be these little shocks that come in. They need purged by the healers. And then you also want to make sure that you don't hold those bosses together for too long, because they get enraged and things hurt a lot more once they become angry. Other than that, this boss is quite literally just rinse and repeat. You want to make sure to kill them around the same time, otherwise the spheres come up a lot. And yes, that's the entire fight. Now this next boss has a ton of different ways and a ton of different methods to go and beat it. However, I'm going to explain a little bit of how we handled it. Big thing that we have to look at here is there are going to be adds and conduits. You need to kill the adds and the conduits when they pop. Generally, there is one add though, we call it a spinner. It's just a centurion that spins in circles, runs around, chases the off tank, it spins itself out and you don't have to deal with it. However, everything else you need to kill. Now, one of the main mechanics in here, which causes the group to wipe, is the upstairs portal, which you can see now. Essentially what you're going to do is just like with the Negatrix and Positrix, which are the first bosses, you're going to use the lightning from the center to break the shield of the sphere, and you're going to kill the sphere. Those blue lightning AoEs on the ground are very painful. You stand in it, you're going to die. Now, while this is going on upstairs, you have the downstairs people going and fighting the boss, and any adds, there's going to be conduits and things of that extent. What you will see is what is generally referred to as just mechanic, and that is everybody backs out and the main tank stands in this little AoE that only he can see, and it's similar to Cradle of Shadows, where he just goes and stands in one spot and has to block the boss, as you can see right there as it's going through. Other than that, this fight is very much just burn the boss, don't get caught in the steam of the ads, and go through. And really, on a normal group, you're expecting to go and do the upstairs portion 2, maybe 3 times. On better burn groups like this, you can avoid doing it any more than once. So enjoy the rest of the fight. Alright, so we are coming up to the spider boss. Essentially what's going to happen is the main tank is going to pull the little lever and make sure that the shield gets broken for the spider. Imagine that, a reoccurring theme throughout this entire trial. Now, once the damage is done on the spider, he is going to shield up and everyone's going to have to run to the next switch. This is 100% time-based, which means you can go and if you have the burn, you can make it through one pull of the lever. Otherwise, what you're going to do is like what we're doing here, and we are going to kill it over multiple pulls, and really it's just kill the dang spider in between the killing the ads. This is just rinse and repeat, very simple, but you really want to make sure that you are dropping your ultimates on the spider, and that's about it. Now on to the next round of bosses, which is so eloquently called the triplets. What we're going to have here is a few of the same mechanics. The triplets like to create that electric charge together when they're too close together, so you separate them. You're going to use that later to break a shield, surprise surprise, and they're going to spawn a bunch of ads that you have to kill. Now, one of the big things with this fight is actually making sure that you kill the ads. If you don't kill the ads, what's going to happen is they make it to the middle, they blow up, and they kill people. Aside from that, this fight is essentially just controlling your burn, making sure that you don't burn one of the triplets too fast because it becomes enraged, and then you have another angry boss, and nobody likes an angry boss. Other than that, it's quite simple as long as you control your burn and you focus the ads.
Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget. I use them all to push me to my best. So treat the worst of times just like a test. If only I could go back in time, I'd tell myself that everything will end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits, don't be rigid, always work towards a prime. Surround yourself with open minds, people can change your life. A few friends with intent can help you feel alive. Find a passion, take some action, and with a little time, just be patient, make a statement, try to enjoy your life. They'll try to kick you while you're down. They wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing, won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless.
And now we're on to the final boss. As with everything else, there are many ways that you can accomplish this and beat it. However, the way we generally run it is to go and knock one arm off, the person over on this side goes back to the other side, and then you knock the other arm off. Every time you knock off an arm, you're going to get an ad, or 2, or 3, or however many people die. So you see, knocked off the arm, now I'm going to the other side, and that is that portion of it. Now, one of the things you have to pay attention to, the capacitors are ranged. That means that when you go into the middle here in a moment, that they're not going to follow you. So you really want to make sure that those capacitors are dead before you get into this phase right here where you go down and kill the various little terminals that pop up, because you need to kill them, otherwise it's going to get painful. If you don't kill at least 2 terminals on the veteran, you will die. While you are down here on top of the grate, you want to make sure that nothing is damaging the boss, because he will send damage back at you, and the boss always does more damage than the players do. So you want to really ensure that you are not doing any damage to him while you are standing on the grate. Aside from that, everything is pretty much the same until you get to execute. You knock off the arms, you kill the ads, and then you kill the terminals, and you do it again. I will be back for execute. See you in a second. And now for everyone's most dreaded portion of this fight, the execute portion. Essentially what you're going to have is 2 tanks facing each other on the grates and 2 healers facing each other on the grates. The reason you do this is so each other can put down their runes of protection and help each other, and you take less damage. You'll see that the DPS are each taking up their own corner. The reason for this is it distributes the damage so that the DPS are not stacking on top of everyone else and killing themselves. Aside from that, you really want to make sure that you are putting barriers out, and that will help you survive this phase. That's it. If you made it all the way through the video, thank you so much. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you come over and interact with me on Twitch where you can see me live, playing with viewers, and having a good time like this. See y'all next time. Enjoy your day.